Hello and welcome to Adventures in TV Land. For today's adventure, I've come to the National Museum of Transportation in St. Louis. The last time I was here was 3 years ago. So let's go and check it out. On display here outside, they've got 3 old road rollers, steam rollers, that's what we used to call them. Here's a map of the National Museum of Transportation. They have several buildings, several different displays. Have a lot of trains here. They have some cars. There's a few boats and even a few airplanes. This is an 1870s mule car. This mule car was actually the first artifact donated to the National Museum of Transportation. Pulled passengers. It had a mule that pulled them. This is a 1910 Buick motor bus. So, an early form of bus. Now this is something that is definitely new since my last visit here. It is a Hyperloop car, Virgin Hyperloop. Peek inside the window porthole there in the front. I honestly don't think the Hyperloop is ever going to come into a reality. But the concept is pretty darn cool. If they were able to adapt it, you could really get around from large cities very quickly. But I don't believe the economics were there to support it at all. But it is a very cool design. And maybe someday it'll be much more inexpensive. This is a 1910 Hupmobile Model 20 runabout. It's just a cool looking old car. It's kind of a standout there. All throughout the campus, they have various photo ops for kids like these. You find them all over. Now, there is a train you can ride here at the National Museum of Transportation. My previous visit, I did that. I rode the train. That is incorporated in the video, as well as just a video of the train ride itself. You can look those up in my older videos, but I am not riding the train today. So this is the only shot here of the train I have today. Here we have the Lindbergh Automobile Center. This is where many of the cars that they have are on display. You walk in, the first car you see is Bobby Darin's dream car. Here we have a 1919 Doris truck. And this vehicle here is a 1923 Moon. Both Doris and Moon were St. Louis car companies. And here we have a 1924 Moon Roadster, as well as a 17 Doris. A 1917 Doris Opera Coupe. Here we have a 1957 Metropolitan. And here is a 1980 commuter car. The commuter car is an electric car. It was originally priced at $4,000, but it only got 40 miles per charge. Now here's a 1963 Chrysler Turbine. These cars were somewhat famous It was infamous because Chrysler actually destroyed most of these cars. There are only 9 of these cars known to be in existence, but only about 3 of those 9 are in running condition. They still run. One is here at the museum. Another one is owned by Jay Leno. Here we have a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. I have a 1927 Ford Model T sedan. Here we have a 2008 solar car. This was built by students at Principia College. Here's a 1986 Pontiac Fiero Special Edition. And a 1964 Ford Mustang. Found this this exhibit quite fascinating. Very interesting. It's about the hobo codes. You don't hear much about hobos anymore. Where I grew up, I heard about stories of them from my grandparents, because my grandparents growing up in the Depression, they actually brought some hobos in sometimes. They fed them, and every once in a while would allow them to stay on their property coming off the railroads. But there was a whole hobo code, and so you would find markings on like fence posts and mailboxes and things. Here's one. It said "man with a gun," a little triangle with a fist on it. But all these different markings meant different things, so there was a whole secret language in the hobo code. This one, a doctor here will treat without charging. A very fascinating piece of American history. Here's a good chance to get money here. Here we have a Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Silver Charger, also known as a Zephyr train engine. Now this train looks like there's a giant saw on the front of it, or I think it might be a giant propeller or something like that. I guess it's kind of like that, but this is a Union Pacific rotary snowplow. So this engine could not run just by itself. It actually had to be pushed by 3 other train engines, but it would, push the snow off the tracks and cut through it so the trains could get through on snow-covered train tracks. Here we have the Norfolk and Western engine. It is the 2nd largest steam locomotive in the entire collection here at the museum. The Laclede and Christie was actually a privately owned corporation's train engine that they used to pull train cars full of coal out of the mines. Here we have, just to show you, they do have some aquatic craft as well. This is a towboat, and here we have a C-47 Skytrain, also known as a Goonie Bird. This plane actually saw service during World War II. This is an 1830 passenger coach. This coach was originally pulled by horses. It is the oldest original railroad passenger car in North America. So that was a brief look at the National Museum of Transportation here in St. Louis, Missouri. It's a pretty cool place. I got trains, planes, automobiles, boats, and more. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you disliked, hit the dislike button. Subscribe to my channel for further content and ring that bell for email notifications. And if there's someplace that you would like to see me visit, or you have a suggestion about some future video you would like to see me do, leave a comment in the comment section. And if you've enjoyed this adventure or any of the adventures in TV land, you can help support this channel by going to either Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon, or even here on YouTube and just becoming a member or making a donation in any of those places. Thank you for watching. Until next time, that's a wrap.